Hello, kindred spirits. Welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin, and today we are going to be exploring the next few weeks for you when it comes to your career, to your finances, and to the goals that you have surrounding them. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, so welcome back, my beautiful kindred spirits, and anyone new who may be joining us here on the channel today. If it's your first time, feel free to check out more of the channel and subscribe if you'd like to. But we are going to be looking into your finances, your career, those earthly pursuits, and see how they might be connecting with your emotions through tarot and through the different suits that might be coming in. So we have 3 different piles with 3 different runes here, which we're gonna look at here in a moment. But if you'd like to not only support the channel, but also yourself through a personal, private reading of your own, you're welcome to book one with me down below or through my Instagram, through an email, for a snail mail reading where I send a letter to you in the mail. It is typewritten on a vintage typewriter, and it is wax sealed closed for your eyes only. It's usually 3 to 4 pages long, depending on the question or query on your mind, and is just a really treasured reading. I have lots of reviews down below as well that you can check out on my Instagram of others who have received their own, and it's a great way to, like I said, support yourself and the channel. There's other offerings that I have down below as well that you can check out through my link tree, such as handmade spell and ritual papers and others that you can check out down below. But I'm going to leave it at that if you want to support this space, but we're going to look into support you through your career and your own financial goals here now. So we have 3 different piles here, each of which, as I mentioned, have a specific rune attached to each of them. For the first pile, we have the rune of Berkana. So if this one is calling out to you, pile number 1 might be for you. For pile number 2 here, we have the rune of Mannaz. So if Mannaz is calling out to you, then this is maybe your pile. And then last but not least here, for pile number 3, we have the rune of Fehu. So if Fehu is calling out to you, then Fehu might be for you. So before you start heading off to the timestamps, I like to give you a moment and invite you in to take a deep and cleansing breath here with me so you can really connect with each of the piles and connect with your own intuition and see which one is really lighting up for you here. So let's go ahead and take that deep breath together here now. And as always, there's no right or wrong way to choose your piles here. You can choose all 3 of the piles if you wish to. You can choose a pile and change your mind, flip-flop, and take as you need to. There really is no rule book here. All of the timestamps will be down below in the description alongside the chapter marks of this video. And if you're looking to get your own private reading, do feel free to check out those snail mail readings down below. And yeah, I will leave you there, but we're going to go ahead and get started here with pile number 1. Hello group 1, if you've decided to choose this rune of Berkana, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to set it here so you can see it during your reading, but we are going to talk about it here in a moment. But I do want to just let you know of the different supplies that we're using today. So we're going to be using the charms. We're also going to be using several different oracle decks and the main tarot deck of the Everyday Witch Tarot, which I'll have all of this listed down below in case anyone is curious. But like I said, we're going to look into your main sort of overarching energy that kind of brought you to this specific group. So let's go ahead and look a little bit more on this rune. So I made this little booklet for myself a long time ago when I was first learning runes. And this is kind of what Berkana is all about. So the main word for Berkana is a representation of birth. So it can be a rebirth. It can be the idea of fertility, new beginnings, nurturing something to grow. So growth, healing, family. And in some cases that can also be, a part of femininity for some. So I want to see, what is kind of branching out from these words as we move forward. And maybe there are specific words that are already calling out to you, and if so, hold on to your intuition and see what that is for you as we move forward. But we're going to just keep those in mind. I'm just going to have it on the side here, and we're going to see how that relates to the rest of your cards, because we're going to pull about 3 to 4 different cards here for your main energies. We're going to then look into a more central card that is going to give us sort of a different perspective on each of the cards. And then we're going to have a red light, green light card that I did last career reading a couple of months ago. And a lot of you guys really enjoyed that. So I brought that back here again today. So do feel free to get yourself settled and cozy for this one. Feel free to send your own intuition into this, and send in your own energy as well. And we'll see what is coming through for you. So over the next few weeks, what do you got going on for your career, your finances, and your goals when it comes to that? So first off, we've got the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is a dare to reach for what your heart desires kind of card. So I'm curious to see what that is for you, and if that is leading you towards, like I said, more of a red light or more of a green light as we move forward. But already this card feels like the universe or yourself kind of asking yourself a little dare, right? Like a little, I dare you to just go after what you truly desire versus doing what is practical or doing what is more realistic. So we're going to see how that relates to your other cards as we move forward. So we've got another one flying out here with the Two of Pentacles, something weighing on your mind. What else? Let's pull at least one more, but we might pull 2. Group 1. Yeah, I feel like we need one more. So I'm going to, I actually am feeling if I can get it to come out. This one card right here. Okay, that totally checks out. That totally makes sense. We've got a really nice little assortment here for you guys. So we have, like I said, that Knight of Cups, that idea of daring yourself to sort of look yourself in the eyes and really go after what your heart truly desires, which seems easy to do, right? When we're kids, it's much easier, but once we're adults, the realistic practical solution is usually the better one strategically in the long term. But there is some, kind of honor towards ourselves to go after what our heart truly desires sometimes, and trying to find a balance there. So we have that coming in with the Two of Pentacles. And then we also have the number 17 coming in here with the Star, a major arcana card, and then the Ace of Cups. And as we spoke already, we had sort of a ace moment already happening with this rebirth or this new beginnings that we're getting with Berkana, which is all about that sort of same feeling that you get with an ace. Aces are, if you think of them as the card that is the seed, it is the very beginning of the suit of cups. The suit of cups being all about your emotions, and again, following your heart, going after that very little early inspirational seed that's been planted in your heart and really letting it to grow. And I know this sounds cheesy. I know it sounds very unrealistic, sort of practical in the eyes of society, but let's just take a moment and just, sort of dare yourself to look a little bit further into that, right? Just dare yourself to look at the possibility of something being able to grow out of this more heartfelt new beginning, because that is really what an Ace of Cups or any ace card within the deck of within the tarot is going after something from that very early seed. And the other important thing about an Ace of Cups is it's a fleeting thing. It's not something that you can grasp and hold for a long time, right? Once we've planted a seed, you have to really nurture it to grow, or it'll just fizzle out. So like I said, you really have a dare right now, daring yourself to really play in this area and see what could grow, and observe it, notice it, see what could grow and nurture there if you put the energy into it. And that doesn't mean you can't still find a balance there, right? There does seem to be showcasing this balance that you have showing up with the Two of Pentacles. And what I love about this Two of Pentacles too is it showcases that sometimes when we're focusing so hardcore too on trying to keep things perfectly in balance, perfectly symmetrical, perfectly perfect, the perfectionism really, so this could be within your finances or weighing the pros and cons of maybe going after this heartfelt decision, or it could even just be that you might be just weighing or feeling the weight of going after the idea of practicality and, going after more of a fantasy. And that sometimes when we focus so hard on trying to keep things perfectly contained, perfectly symmetrical, perfectly in harmony, then we miss out on all of the beautiful, moments that happen in the pitfalls, and all the beautiful moments that happen on the opposite end of that spectrum too. And it seems like life is trying to remind you of that too, that there are going to be things that are going to get into your path that are going to knock you off balance. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. Sometimes the best things that happen in our lives are the ones that are unexpected and that happen when we don't plan them, when we're not trying to be practical or perfectionistic or have everything be perfectly reliable and, you just trying to have everything, line up so to the T. And so I think this card is just reminding you to kind of let loose a little bit more, especially with the star as well. The star represents restoration. It represents hope in a new beginning. And the star comes after a lot of really big disaster card, like a very big disaster card of the Tower. And this is the rebirth. This is the rebuilding. This is the healing phase. So you might also be healing when it comes to your relationship with money or your relationship with a coworker or some sort of role or job that you are currently in. But there could be some sort of healing happening there as well. So I want to look a little bit further, right? So we're just talking about some of the themes that are coming through, but how else might they be coming in? So I love these cards because they actually do have a question at the top, and these cards are really good at reframing what we see here and looking at it from a new perspective. So let's see what that perspective is for you, group 1. Okay. Ooh, this so makes sense for you because this is the ladybug, and the ladybug asks us, well, first off, it is charm, and it asks us, what if everything is already working out? So again, that idea that like, what if this, even though things seem a little bit odd or, things seem like they're off balance, maybe that trip up or that shift in your path is actually going to be something that is quite a good luck thing for you in the long run. It's one of those things where you look back on it and you're like, had I not turned left or had I not turned right, what would have happened? And this is sort of one of those pivotal moments that are happening in your life right now. But it seems like it's definitely, at least Spirit is telling you that you're probably going to turn the way you need to, but it's going to look like, a pitfall, even though it is just going to be a minor hiccup in your path to just sort of get you back on track. I hope I'm saying what I mean well here, but that is what we have here for the ladybug. But let's go ahead and look at your red light, green light cards. So for this, what I mean is, what is something within your finances and your career that maybe you're trying to make a decision about, or something else that might come up soon and recently has come up that you maybe need to consider a little bit more, or there might be a little bit of like a red light, red flag, or a cautionary little moment here. So what is something that you should maybe be cautionary of, and what is something that maybe you should embrace and bring into your life, right? A green light. So first, the red light. What do we got going on for a red light for you, group 1, when it comes to the next few weeks, when it comes to your career and to your financial path right now and those goals? Okay, so we have the 7 of paper cover, protection. I read it as perfection, but protection, beauty, and wholeness. Let's go ahead and pull you the other one to see the opposite end here. So we're looking for the green light. And then we have the companion, partnership, support, and reliability. One of my favorite cards in the deck. So when it comes to the 7 of paper here with the cover, this makes me think of like overprotecting yourself, right? When we think of a cover, when we think of a dust jacket, right, it's to protect the cover, and then then from the cover, then, you don't ever want anyone to ever see that cover because we're constantly putting this dust jacket on to keep it safe. So this is kind of reminding me of your heart, right? And that your heart is currently being protected by layers and layers and layers. And these layers are getting so thick that it's hard for you to even see what's on the inside, for you to even see what is truly calling out to you. And I know this is a career reading, but this is what's coming up for your guys' pile. So if this is not resonating, do feel free to check out another one, or another pile. But I really feel like this is connected to your sense of sort of value when it comes to how you value yourself within your career, within how other people see you and interact with you. If you're not perfect, if you don't, showcase like this perfect, unflawed self, then people aren't going to respect you, see you. Maybe you feel like you won't get the jobs that you're after, or anywhere, right? It could apply for many different things and for many different reasons. But the point is, I really feel like the caution that Spirit is telling you right now is to make sure not to put too many layers over the top of yourself and bottle yourself off to such a point that not only can others not connect with you, but you also have a harder time connecting with others, especially since we have the companion coming up here on your green light card, where the companion says partnership, support, and reliability. So I think a lot of people know that you can be very reliable. I think they know that you bring to the table really wonderful skills and you can be very valuable. But I do think you also might be, sheltering yourself, protecting yourself, only showing a certain version of yourself at work, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? We turn off parts of ourselves and turn up parts of ourselves in different social context, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I do think yours really is more to certain extremes when it comes to that. And so maybe just dipping your toes a little bit more with that, or bringing a little bit more of yourself to the table can actually create more balance for you, or to create more opportunities than you had previously. So this one is definitely more open-ended than I was expecting, but I'm going to pull some charms to see if we can get some more information as we move forward. So do feel free to send your energy in through time and space, and let's pull some charms for you, group 1. Okay, so we have a few different ones here. Let's go ahead and get a little look-see. So again, we're getting more on that cautionary tale showing up here with the balance that we were getting over here, right? In that, like, allow the pitfalls to happen, allow yourself to falter, to make mistakes, to run amok sometimes, because I think that is actually going to, give you a more holistic experience of not only your career and the finances that you can bring in, but also the new opportunities that could find their way in through those pitfalls, versus trying to kind of keep everything solid and perfect and at balance and at harmony at all times. So that's showing up here again, here with the cautionary red light card. But here in the green light card, you have a lot of other things showing up here. First of which, we have the gambling charm, which I think is really interesting because it fell right here next to the cat that was jumping on top of this little balance beam that you were on, right? Where you're kind of focusing so deeply on harmony. If you gamble a little bit and try some things a little bit differently and have a few more failures, some more mistakes, you might have more that you win in the end. And what you might be winning and what you might be gaining through this is more connections, more opportunities for connections, such as like networking connections through friendships, through coworker relations, all different kinds of different relationships that show up through career, right? So in any sense of that, though, there is an opportunity that could show up in letting yourself be a little bit more loose and allowing your heart to speak a little bit more. We also have the swallow showing up here with little hummingbird, which is telling me that, like, it's just making me think of birds and freedom and allowing yourself to be a little bit more free, allowing yourself to free flow a little bit more. And then we have the celebrations charm. This is the mini celebrations charm that I have 2 of them. One usually representing like big celebrations like weddings or promotions or like really big life events, and this is more the small things. These are the small little things that add up and make a real difference. And so the fact that this is showing up here in between charm and companion is telling me too that you're going to have really beautiful moments when you allow your dust jacket to come off a little bit more in the workspace, or through allowing your skills and what you bring to the table shine a little bit more from the inside out, versus like this hollow dust jacket shell version of yourself. And in doing so, I think other people are going to want to shed light as well on themselves, and that gives you the opportunity to connect a lot more on a much deeper level, on a much more human level, for some really beautiful relationships to bloom. And the fact that you got the Ace of Cups here can also represent a relationship coming in too. So there could also be, like I said, you might be building a relationship through this by taking a different avenue, by risking it for the biscuit, right? And you might gain a lot more than had you kept to your plan. So those are the things that I am getting here for you, group 1. I do hope this was useful to you as you move through the next few weeks. If you did enjoy this reading, do be sure to give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the reading. I definitely would be curious because, like I said, this one's been very open-ended and went a very different direction than a typical career reading might go. So I'd very much love to hear your thoughts. You're also welcome to subscribe if you haven't already, as I put out new videos every single Monday for career, spirituality, art, magic, and so much more. So do be sure to subscribe. And you're also welcome to check out the other ways in which you can support this space by checking out the Kindred tip jar down below. Everything that goes in there goes right back into the channel, so I really appreciate any help that comes in through there. And you're also welcome to check out the snail mail readings that I do, where I send a reading to you in the mail. And I also do a more magical offering of handmade spell and ritual papers, currently for Mabon, but there also are some for Samhain and other big holidays. So do feel free to check those out down below. And with all of that said, I do hope you enjoyed this reading, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello group 2, if you've decided to choose this rune of Mannaz, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to go ahead and set your rune down here, and we'll talk about it more here in a second. But I just want to let you know that we are going to be looking into your career through the charms and several different oracle decks, with the main tarot deck today being the Everyday Witch Tarot, which I'll have all of this listed down below in case you're curious. But I'm feeling really fired up to look into your guys' pile, so let's just get right on into it. So what do you got going on for career and for your finances, your career goals, and your any jobs that you might be in right now over the next few weeks? We're going to be taking a look first with the rune that you decided on. So we have the rune of Mannaz, and it is about, humanity and mankind being the main word here. And kind of, if you look at this, it's almost as if mankind has to hold each other together to this part would fall over, or this side would fall over, if it didn't have the connection there in the center to hold each other up. So it's kind of like a more holistic point of view, rune here, with humanity and how we have both differences and similarities, our culture, the whole picture, and the social structure. So this is definitely overarching big picture ideas, that really relate to not only career and finances, but also you have a lot of things that are going on right now that are being influenced by society at large. So we're going to see how that comes in with the rest of your cards here. So we're going to start out first, and do feel free to get yourself cozy for this. Feel free to put your own intuition cap on. I love to let you guys know that you're totally welcome to take this reading and see what comes in for you with your own intuition, and we can co-create this together. But feel free to get yourself settled, and we're going to start out first by looking into some main energies coming in for you. So what is going on over the next few weeks for you within your job or multiple jobs, your career, society at large, and how that connects to all of this, and anything else that might be influencing your life right now in those sections. So we have the Four of Pentacles first off. And the Four of Pentacles has a lot to do with sort of staying in or withholding information in some way. So we're going to see how that is. This can be someone who's very frugal, who is currently, maybe saving up for something or holding back from maybe going out or spending a lot of money right now. So we're going to see how that relates to the rest of the cards that you're getting here. So we also have the Page of Pentacles. This definitely makes sense, okay, because we have the Page of Pentacles is someone who, in this case, you can see them like flipping a coin up here. So there is a bit of chance that, you're not like staying in entirely or not spending, nothing entirely, but there is a little bit of a risk taker going on here as well. And maybe it's just that I don't know, I'm very curious. I feel like we need to get maybe 2 more cards for you guys today. So we also have the Four of Swords. And let's see, I feel like there's one more hiding in here. So we have 2 4 cards. So it's definitely highlighting the 4 energy. And you know what? I don't even know if it's that card. I honestly feel like it's the 7 here. But you did have the King of Pentacles as well, in case that relates to anyone. But I really genuinely feel like these are our 4 here. So we have the Four of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles. So we have a lot of Pentacle cards. So this totally makes sense with a career reading. But whenever we get 4s a lot in a row, this is telling me that there is currently something in your life that you're kind of withholding a little bit of yourself. Because the Four of Pentacles, as you can see, this little cat is showcasing that you could hop out this little window. You currently have yourself locked up. You currently have all of your riches underneath you. You're looking and darting and checking every second to make sure it's all there. So there is this need to like hold or withhold information, withhold your riches, withhold even your value in your career right now. So this doesn't have to be money wise, although for some of you it can be very, very specifically about your money. But for others, it can mean that you're currently holding back on showcasing the value that you have, the riches inside you, these skills that you could bring to the table within a career, maybe out of imposter syndrome, maybe out of perfectionism, or just general fear of being noticed or being put on the spot in some way. And I feel like you've been kind of putting your dreams or putting things to the back burner, because we have the Four of Swords as well, which the Four of Swords is a really wonderful card. It represents, taking rest and putting your thoughts to rest for a little bit, giving yourself a little bit of time to marinate on something. And the Seven of Pentacles can be very similar to that. It's kind of a waiting things out, waiting for something to progress. So there might be something in society at large right now that you maybe I've even taken a little bit of a risk on, because like I said, we have this risky card all of a sudden showing up amongst so many cards that are showcasing taking your time, slowing down, checking to make sure everything is locked up and going well. And then you have this risk taker showing up here. So I find this really interesting. The Page of Pentacles, they do have a map. They could follow this map. They do have the money they need to get to where they need to go, and yet they're still not really keeping eye on it. And yet they are flipping a coin to see where to go instead of using their map, instead of using their resources, which is very different from all of the other cards that you have here. So there might have been an opportunity that is about to present itself over the next few weeks that you're going to maybe need to have to take sort of a risk taker point of view on. You might have to kind of move out of this cobwebs that you have going on up here and moving away from sort of settling or sitting on all this value that you have. Otherwise it'll get lost or it won't be seen. And that is quite a sucky situation when you have so much value to bring to the table. And so I really feel like there's going to be an opportunity that sets forth for you soon, that's going to show up on your radar, show up on your map, that you're going to have to make a bit of a risk for, or it's going to feel like a too good to be true opportunity as well, that like you've been waiting for quite a while, right? lots of cards showcasing waiting. So if you've been waiting for an opportunity to come forward, or you've been waiting for an opportunity to sort of fully progress, I feel like it's definitely going to happen over the next couple of weeks. And like I said, you're going to have to take a bit of a risk to be able to really take and excavate all of the riches and value of this opportunity. So these are the things that I'm seeing here. But when it comes to finances, even if you don't take this opportunity, it seems like you're still going to be in a really good spot. It just means that you could have gotten, more had you, risked it. But you do still have a lot of opportunities showcasing here that you're going to have, what you need, or you already have what you need. But there's an opportunity for more, so you don't feel like you have to go paycheck to paycheck, or you don't have to go, sort of skimp off the top sort of feeling, or rather is kind of being taken advantage of, possibly, where you are currently working, or, people, get freebies all the time, like when it comes to like a small business, or it might be that you are putting a lot of value out there, but not really seeing a ton in return when it comes to your coworkers, to your salary, towards your, earnings and things like that. So like I said, there's an opportunity on its way in that seems to be a bit more of a risk, but something that I think is going to be worth your time to reconsider, to sit on a little bit, and to see if it is worth coming out of hiding here for. So with that said, I want to look a little bit further. So we're going to pull a card here to look into sort of another way of looking at these cards. I like to look at this card to see as like a shift in our perspective, to see what else might be coming in that we couldn't have seen before. So let's go ahead and see what that is here. I like these because they actually have questions on them to give us a little bit of a prompt. So we have Nurture, Eastern Cottontail. What role is mothering energy playing in my life? And this doesn't have to be mother. I like to replace that word rather with a parent or parental figure. And then we have Nurture, the Eastern Cottontail. So this is telling me less of like the mothering energy for me, or the parental energy, but rather the idea of like a rabbit and how they they constantly shy away from danger, which is a good thing, right? It keeps them safe, it keeps them protected, as the 4 energy usually represents. But in doing so, they also could miss out on some of the things that they were, foraging for or looking for, to get away from the harm that could come their way for taking the risk. So it is making sure that you kind of take your time, and it also can be that there could be an influence here where maybe the risk is because a parental figure is involved, or family is involved in some way with how this opportunity comes forward. But see how this is really connecting with you, because I feel like it's going to be very different for each of you when it comes to that parental family role to this situation. But I also am going to pull 2 more cards, and this is going to be the green light, red light card. So we're going to have a red light to see something that maybe you should be cautionary of over the next couple of weeks, and then something that's more of a green light, something that you should really embrace or take in over the next few weeks when it comes to career and finances. So over the next couple of weeks, group 2 here, what do we got going on? So our first card here for you is the 4. So we have 444 showing up here, which really makes sense for your guys' pile, with the 4 of paper, signature, tradition, organization, and planning. But I am curious to see what your other one is. And then we have family, kinship, belonging, collaboration. So I really felt like there was a family element to your guys' pile. So I'm definitely seeing that they're going to be a green light for you. Like I said, that they might be the person that brings forth this support. They might bring the opportunity. They might help you navigate the risk that might be involved here. But family is going to be a big part and a big role in maybe why this is a risk for you. Maybe it's not even the opportunity itself, but how others might perceive it, as we had that mankind one, bigger overarching themes in our lives and how those might be affecting the point of view of your situation right now. But it seems they're going to be a supportive green light for you. And this can be, this doesn't have to be like your blood family, or, you know, that sort of vibe. It could be your chosen family, it could be your friends, your kin, however you define that for yourself. But like I said, I feel like they're going to be a really positive role when it comes to this opportunity for you, and navigating this risk. And then you also have the Four of Paper here with signature, which is a reminder as well, again, to kind of take a little bit of weight off yourself, of that perfectionism, of keeping things perfectly in order, having everything perfectly mapped out. We even have the map here, right? So we've got like two maps showing up here, and they're like they're throwing the map out the window. They're throwing the plan out the window to try something else. And I think you're going to be changing up your plans, you're going to be changing up your goals over the next few weeks. And if you keep to your goals, again, I don't feel like it's going to be a bad thing. I just think it's going to keep you quite baseline. Nothing necessarily bad comes of missing out on this opportunity, but it also doesn't necessarily make your life any better, right? So that's what we're really getting here with the red light and green light cards. So let's go ahead and finish off your reading with the charms here, and we'll see if they have anything else they'd like to add. So do feel free to send your energy in through time and space here, and let's pull you some charms, group 2. Okay, so I just had quite a few charms that kept calling to my hands, but these were the ones that called out the most. So this is where we're at here. Ooh, interesting. So if you watched pile 1 and came over here to pile 2, I just want to point out that we got the ladybug here again. So we have the ladybug showing up here on nurture, in case that resonates for anyone from pile 1, but coming over to pile 2. But you also have the letter V showing up here. The ladybug also represents a really good luck charm, right? It's a good luck charm. And then we have it in this little earring as well. So maybe it's about like a whispering in your ear, or something about communication coming in that's going to be like a really good opportunity that comes forward that's going to give you a lot of good luck. And you have luck on your side right now, right, with the coin toss. And then surprise, of course, we've got another charm that came up in group 1. So there's definitely themes that are spreading through each of the piles, and I'll be curious to see what pile 3 gets now. But I love when the charms do these sorts of things. And the risk charm, the little gambling chip here, fell straight on top of the head of this Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords is about overthinking sometimes, right? It's about taking rest, but sometimes when we take rest, we start thinking like, oh, but maybe I should have done this, and maybe I should have done that. And, we start to, when we're not in action and we're trying to take rest, we can't get very good rest because we're thinking it over too much. So it could also be that this is going to be weighing quite heavily on your mind, maybe how you break the news to family, or maybe how you gain support. But that is definitely showing up here a lot when it comes to you making a decision here. We have the envy heart, or the jealous heart, that happens over here on the Four of Paper, which we talked about earlier. Kind of this is more about keeping to the structure, keeping to the plan. And so maybe by keeping to the plan, you're also maybe feeling resentful of your own plan, and wanting to break free of it because there's things that you envy, or you're starting to become jealous of what other people have, because maybe you've been staying in or keeping the balance, or keeping things as it always was. We have this little cat here. This is one of those like little magnetizing cats. I don't know if you guys know what these are, but basically it's like a big magnet, and then you can stack the cats on top of each other, or the little magnets on top of each other, to be able to build something. So this is also making me think that there's going to be people in your life that you currently have this door locked up from, that could be helping you to build more wealth, to build more value, to build more skills, to build whatever it is that you had on your goals, but maybe you're going to have to go and reroute a little bit here, especially because we have the Night Charm, and the Night Charm represents, like in chess, if you guys have ever played chess, it's sort of the oddball of the chess pieces, because instead of being able to just move forward or go around things, this one can actually move around chess pieces, right? So they can be a little bit sneaky, they can go a little bit in a different direction, they reroute. So I really see that showing up here again. And then lastly here we have the, on top of the nurture charm, or nurture card, we have the charm of sort of stagnation or stalling. Because this is or it used to have a bunch of fake snow on top of it. So this makes me think that you're currently in a situation where you're wanting to nurture something to grow, but you're still in that state of like stagnation or stale or keeping things as they were. So if anything, I believe that these cards are trying to tell you to get outside of your box, to sort of throw your plans aside and to gamble a little bit more, and to allow yourself that sort of freedom to try something else and to gamble a little bit more, to risk it a little bit more. So very interesting that this has been a theme so far for each of these two piles, but I'll definitely be curious to see if it flows into pile 3 as well. But I do hope that this reading has been useful to you, and if it was, do be sure to give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below how it resonated for you. If you saw different things in the charms, if you came from pile number 1 to pile number 2, I would love to hear your thoughts. Also, if you haven't already, do consider subscribing, as I put out new videos every single Monday for love, career, spirituality, art magic, charm casting, and so much more. So do be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on all that fun videos. And you're also welcome to get a snail mail reading if you're interested in getting a private reading. I send a letter to you in the mail, typewritten on a vintage typewriter, for your eyes only. And I also offer some magical spell and ritual paper for the different more magical Sabbats. Right now it's for Mabon and the autumn equinox, but there also are some Samhain sets and other ones, so do be sure to check those out down below as a way to not only support yourself but also support the channel. So thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye! Hello Group 3, if you've decided to choose the rune of Fehu, then this is the pile for you. We're going to talk more on your rune here in just a moment, but do feel free to get yourself settled and cozy here, as we are going to be using the charms, as well as several different oracle decks, and the main tarot deck today of the Everyday Witch Tarot, which I'll have all of the decks and supplies here listed down below, so you can check those out if you're curious. But do feel free to continue to get yourself settled, and feel free to put your own intuition cap on. I always invite you guys to use your own intuition during these readings, and sometimes I think it's important to remind you guys that you guys have so much intuition and so much more than, we sometimes give ourselves credit for. So we're going to see how we can co-create this reading together. But we're going to start out first with Fehu. So the rune that you chose, like I said, is Fehu, and it relates to the idea of cattle, the value and worth of that you have right now when it comes to your career, comes to your job, it comes to your finances, your financial worth, prosperity, trade, money, and bartering. So those are sort of the main sort of themes that come forward when we think of Fehu. So I'm very curious, and I'm going to keep these in mind as we move through your pile here. But of course, it's very fitting for the reading that we're looking into today. So we're going to start out first, and feel free to send your energy in as I speak about this. But we're going to look into first the main energies coming in. I usually pull 3 cards, but I've been pulling 4 today, so we're going to see what you guys get for that first. Then we're going to pull sort of an observational card with the Prairie Majesty Oracle, and then a green light and red light card, which I'll explain when we get farther in, as well as the charms. So let's start out first with those main energies that are coming in for you. So first off, we have the 8 of Cups here. The 8 of Cups has a lot to do about sort of emotional burnout with a certain situation, or feeling like you are not emotionally being sort of valued in your job or your career right now, or like your skills and what you bring to the table isn't being valued. So I'm very curious to see how that might be coming through, or there just might be a situation in which you maybe need to take some time away from, take some rest from. So we're going to see how that comes forward. But we also have the Five of Wands showing up here with the bubbling cauldron. So this is sort of, whenever I see this in a financial reading, this really makes me think of like resentment bubbling, or the idea of like co-workers and sort of gossip and chattiness and something bubbling under the surface. So we're going to see what that is as we move forward, because it definitely seems like there might have already been something bubbling with the idea of the Eight of Cups here. So let's see how that relates to your other two cards. Group 3. Over the next few weeks, what do you have coming in for your career and your finances, jobs, other earthly pursuits here? So we also have the Lovers card, and then the Chariot card, as well as the Tower. I usually pull, like I said, only 3 cards, so we're pulling 5 here. So it feels like something is bubbling under the surface for sure. It feels like you're probably already aware of this. I don't feel like this is something that is news to you, but there's either something bubbling under the surface that you're very much involved in, or there's something bubbling around you right now that is causing a lot of stress, or causing a lot of sort of emotional stress on you right now, because the Eight of Cups can represent needing to maybe walk away from a position, walk away from a job. It can be something as big as that, or something as simple as just needing some rest, some emotional rest from a certain situation. Especially with the Lovers card showing up here too. The Lovers and the fact that you got the Chariot card, these are both heavy choice cards. They definitely represent making choices, and really big choices. So the Chariot is about making a choice that gives you power, gives you freedom, and puts agency back in your pocket. Whereas the Lovers card kind of doubles down more on the idea of making a choice to, like really choose your heart over your head in a situation. So the fact that we have both of those showing up here, and the idea of possibly walking away from something, might be that you're currently feeling like you need to sort of walk away from a certain situation, whether that's like as drastically as needing to leave a situation, putting agency back in your pocket, right? Needing to maybe put some distance between you and someone at your workplace, or it can also represent just really needing to change up the game, because we also have the number 16 here with the Tower, and the Tower represents, and usually represents like big changes coming in. These are big winds of change, but they're usually ones that aren't are provided by the universe and not really by yourself. It's not usually something that you make the change. It's something that is unexpected, isn't something that you were expecting in any way. And the fact that we got this specific Tower from this specific deck, though, kind of changes that perspective, where you can kind of see them having this sneaky little grin, and they're this feeling like they probably did this, right? So I feel like maybe you're wanting to leave a sinking ship. Maybe you're wanting to go out of your job with a bang. Whatever it might be, it just feels like you're the one creating this upheaval, and probably in a way that is giving you more agency, more freedom in the long term. But I really feel like there's some bigger things happening here, because we have three major arcana cards, which represent really big life changes happening over the next few weeks for you when it comes to career, when it comes to your finances. So whether or not this is actually leaving a job, like I said, this could also be that you are stepping away for a little bit of time. Maybe you're getting a little bit of space in some way, or if it isn't an actual job, it could be a client, or it could be, walking away from a specific toxic person in your workplace. But whatever it might be, you're making bigger changes, and you're kind of knocking down really big foundations that have slowly become very toxic and have been bubbling over, in order to try to find, things that actually bring you joy, or clients that actually value your work, or whatever it might be. It just feels like you are looking for a way out, really. It really feels like you're looking for a way out. And if this is more of a financial thing too, this can also be that to just keep in mind that there might be something bubbling under the surface, maybe checking, your bank, checking those sorts of things, making sure there isn't some really unexpected change that comes forward that's been bubbling under the surface for a while. But again, I feel like whatever this unexpected thing is, I feel like you already have, your intuition is already on. It's already clued into what this is, or you will very shortly. So I'm definitely curious to look a little bit further. So we're going to pull you a sort of more observational cards. These cards I like because they have a question at the top that kind of prompt us to look at the cards in another way or through a different perspective. So we're going to see what perspective we get for you over the next few weeks with your career, with your financial goals, with this bubbling. What do we got coming in for you, group 3? So we have match butterfly milkweed, and this is the question that we have here, and it says, where do I give and receive? And this is making me feel, like I said, like I feel like there's something bubbling under the surface, this idea of resentment, this idea of like partnership, and that this partnership isn't very equal. There is definitely an imbalance of power here within your job or your career right now, with whether that's with coworkers, clients, a boss, whether that's through the pay that you get, whatever it is, there's an imbalance that you're trying to shift back into balance. But in doing so, you're going to have to make some really drastic shifts or really drastic turns that are not going to happen on their own if you don't speak up or make this change happen. And on top of the fact that I said you have some really big shifts or big changes, you also got the transformation butterfly showing up here, and then butterfly milkweed. And the reason why I think that this is, like I said, like a very transactional or the power dynamics are kind of skewed here is because this plant of butterfly milkweed is, I don't know all of the specifics here, but basically it's a plant where without the milkweed, the butterflies can't really grow and don't have a great habitat, and without the butterflies, the milkweed can't grow either. So it's a very symbiotic relationship here. Whereas the cards that you have above are showcasing kind of the opposite of that, or that one is thriving where the other is not. And I feel like you're probably very aware of this already, so I feel like the thing that it's not really that I'm telling you anything new necessarily, but that I'm telling you that you have more agency and you have more power and willpower in your pocket than you maybe realize right now, and that you have a lot more say in what happens to you in your workplace and how you are valued and your worth than maybe you are aware of right now. So let's go ahead and get your green light. Sorry, my voice is going kind of funky right now. I got a frog in my throat, but let's go ahead and get your red light, green light card here. In that your red light card is going to highlight something to be more cautionary of over the next few weeks, and then the green light being obviously something to, go for. So we're going to see what that is for you over the next few weeks. So definitely feel free to send your energy in. Group 3. What else do we got going on for you, group 3? Ooh. Okay. So I find this funny because I do believe this card came up the last time I did a career reading. But we have the 7 of Thread, the Tapestry, Interdependence, Wisdom, and Ancestry. So the fact that we got interdependence is making me think that, the place that you're working at, or the person that you're working for, is, like I said, definitely getting more than you are, right? They're taking up more in this tapestry, they're taking up more of this picture, and yet you're putting in just as much, if not more work to make it come forward. So again, I feel like this isn't something you don't already know. So I want to look a little bit further. I feel like there's more to the story here. Okay. You also have the stars with luck, hope, and wishes. So it also is giving me this feeling too that, there might be a situation that's going to pass where maybe you leaving, they're going to be like, oh, well, wait, we actually did need you, or wait, I'll actually give you what you want now because you're leaving, or something like that. That just feels like too good to be true, or, they are sort of spinning some sort of lie into this. Like, it just feels kind of, I don't know, I feel like someone's going to try to weasel their way back in. You know what I mean? It feels like somebody's kind of weaseling their way back into your space and trying to navigate you, just like the stars navigate us, navigate you back towards this bubbling space. Whether that's through gaslighting or through trying to put some sort of incentive out there to try to buy your way back into it. But I do feel like that might be showing up here, right? They're like weaving a web to get you back. So I'm curious to see how that comes in. Definitely just keep that in mind over the next few weeks. But let's see your green card here, or your green light card, and see what that is. So you have the Six of Paper, glue, mending, healing, reconciliation. Ooh, interesting. So this is making me think of, this is making me think that you're like healing. Definitely, for sure. Like, I feel like you choosing yourself, or choosing to maybe go a different direction, or even considering it, even if you don't make any action on it, at least considering it as a real probable thing for you to do, can be very mending and healing for you. It also might be that you're maybe reconnecting, and maybe that's what this cautionary thing is too. You might be reconnecting, or feeling like maybe you want to go back to a place of work that maybe didn't treat you great either, versus going a new way. But especially with it like coming up right next to this tower, which, like I said, is dropping and unexpected events, but I feel like you're probably very aware that these unexpected events are on their way in, of cracking down foundations that no longer serve you anymore. And the fact that you have all these little cracks in this paper is making me think that you took these broken pieces, you took this walking away, you put agency back into your hands, and you took that old rubble and you made it into something new. So I really feel like it's really just showcasing that you can be very much more self-made, and that you can heal through this situation by taking up the broken pieces, and you have a lot of power in your hands right now to build something new that can much more benefit you and be much more of value to you than maybe where you are currently. So those are the cards that I have right now, but let's go ahead and pull you some charms to get a little bit more of those extra little details. So do feel free to send your energy in through time and space here. Let's see. Okay. So we've got a few different ones here. Let's get a little look-see. Just going to pick up the ones that fell off here. So we have a few different charms. I said I felt like somebody was kind of weaseling their way in, or weaving their way back into your life somehow, and it being related to finances or to career. And you got the snake charm. So it definitely feels like someone is snaking their way back in. So be aware that someone's going to try to snake their way back in, or you're going to find yourself back in the situation maybe, or there's an opportunity for you to find your way back into this opportunity that you already went through so much work maybe over these next few weeks to sort of move away from, or to get some space from. And so just being aware of that and kind of sticking to your guns might be really important. We also have here the puzzle piece charm, which makes me think too that there is more pieces to this Lovers card. Maybe it's something else we should look at here. Let me just look here. It could be that maybe there was, maybe, I feel like this is for just a few of you, but like I said, with the snaking feeling, the Lovers card, the fact that we have like this co-workers feeling, it could be that there could have been like a relationship that has gone a bit awry, whatever kind of relationship that might be in the workplace. So that might be connected to that. For some of you, we also have the clipped on charm. So whenever I think of this makes me think of like someone that's like really clipped on. They've like really latched on. So I do think that this is you moving away from what has been, your foundation for so long. This also looks like a little clock to me sometimes, so it also is making me think too that this is like good timing for you, or it may not be, actually I feel like it maybe isn't the easiest timing for you, but it's worth stepping away anyway, because there's never going to be a perfect time. And then the fact that we got, again, all those major arcana cards, and we have the transformation charm or transformation message here with the butterfly, and we also have the really big transformation charm of this little pendant, just makes me think that, again, you're going through a really big shift and a really big transformation over the next few weeks. So be gentle with yourself, allow yourself some mending, some healing through this situation. Be a little bit more, give yourself a little bit more credit and grace as you navigate this rubble and putting back the pieces. But I do think that you putting yourself first is going to be really important for you right now if you are in the position to do so. So those are all the cards and charms that I have for you here, group 3. If you did enjoy this reading, do be sure to give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below. Always curious, would be very curious if you saw different connections here. Do let me know in the comments down below. And also, if you haven't already, do be sure to subscribe, as I put out new videos every single Monday for love, career, spirituality, for charm casting, for art, magic, and so much more. So do be sure to subscribe if you want to keep in on the know of when I drop these videos out. And also, if you want to support this space a little bit further, as well as support yourself by getting a private or personal reading, do be sure to check out these snail mail readings that I do, where I send a letter to you in the mail, and it's typewritten on a vintage typewriter. It's usually about 3 to 4 pages long. I really go into detail on the question and query on your mind. So if you're interested in that, do be sure to check that out down below. I also make handmade spell and ritual papers for different Sabbats and magic, so do be sure to check that out. And I also have a Kindred tip jar where everything that goes in there goes right back into the channel. So with all of that said, thank you so much for just hanging out with me here today. I'm wishing you the best through navigating all of what you have going on here, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.